everybody. I thought I'd do some Puzzle Rush on this channel because I haven't done it for ages. It's a way of moving the webcam, maybe, because it seems to be blocking some of the stuff. Okay, anyway, let's just get on with it. Right, let's play 5 minutes. It's very nerve-wracking. At least you're just competing against yourself. I think that's one of the... Is it enjoyable to compete against other individuals, or is it more enjoyable like this? You're basically just competing against yourself. That's why I like doing studies and stuff, because I just find you're just competing against yourself. There's not all that ego element. Obviously, some people love that. I love that at times as well, but it is nerve-wracking. Okay, this one I don't know. Oh no, it's check and bishop e6, yeah. Mate. There's like rook a7. Okay, this one you can do this. I'm a bit slow today actually. This knight g3. Yeah, this isn't a very good attempt so far. Okay, queen e5 wins a rook. Check. Queen h3. F4 or oh no, hang on, there's some kind of forced mate idea. C4, I don't know. Sometimes you just play instinctively, right? I mean, there's queen c4 check. Queen e4. d5 is going to take, right? It's maybe this. Take. Rook e5 is going to... It could go d7. Maybe it's d7. Yeah, fuck. This. Okay, we can take. Check and take. 8 is mate. Rook g6 is mate. Queen g2 feels like the move. Queen h2, what else? Rook e1. Ah, frig. Doing badly on this one. Okay, there's some kind of bishop f2. Queen h3 move, maybe? Bishop e3. Aha, it's knight b1 and rook e1 check. I guess you go rook check, right? I can block g8. So I've got to come across this way. Come across. Queen f5 looks like a move. Queen g4. Okay, so he's trying to queen the pawn. I mean, there's rook e2, and then he's got... There's also rook check and rook e2. Does that make any difference? It goes to f1. Rook e2, I'm thinking king f1. Oh, maybe it's g5. Because you need the tempo, right? Yeah, clever. There's rook f7. Maybe that's the idea. So there's knight e3 or knight c3. I'm not sure which one's better. Apparently it was that one. Okay, there's queen g6. Queen G7 is possible. Yeah, this way it gets tricky. There's various checks and you don't know which one is best. So I got the 47. Not bad. Let's try again. I kind of messed that one up a little bit. When does the Gukesh Ding match start? Rook G5. And I imagine that starts fairly soon, right? Should be interesting. I think the first few games could be fairly close. Generally you get a lot of draws in these sort of things anyway, that's normally a banker. G5 and Rook F3. So I think normally you sort of calculate these lines like before you play them is probably the way to go, right? You know, because okay, there's Queen E5, Queen D2 is mate, there's Queen D1 is mate, there's Queen D7 looks strong. No, there's Rook B7, sorry. Rook A1. Okay, Knight F3 mate. 7. It's Queen G4, right? Queen A3, Queen B2, there's this. So hitting that, that's tricky. Oh, I can do this. Jack and then Queen D3. Yeah. Use the rook. Maybe this. Okay, if I take on C6, Queen G6 is good. Okay, there's this. Rook A8 you have to start with, I think. Probably Bishop A3. Queen F7, or what else? You want to go Queen E7. I don't see any other move other than Queen E7. And then move the knight. Queen F3 wins, I think. So if I go D5 is good. Maybe it's this. Okay, there's Queen E2. So it's easy to forget that Queen's on A8, which is kind of a bummer. Yeah, that was a blunder. Should be E6, I guess. Yeah, it's very frustrating. I got that one wrong. I'll have to check that one later. Okay, you have to go here. Presume you go A5. Okay, so Rook D8. No, is it Rook D7 maybe? And then you wanted me to rook somewhere safe, so there is good. So E6, does that make any difference? Doesn't seem to. There's got to be something where I'm hitting the knight, because that knight looks very vulnerable, right? So how do I do it? Okay, let's start with this. Took me ages to see that pattern. It's A3 maybe, it's possible. Also, there's Queen B6 is possible, but then maybe it's Rook here. Fuck off. Oh, sorry, pardon my French. Rook D3, Bishop. Does Queen H4 as well? Yeah, I'm wondering if it's this. No, it's, okay, we'll just. What were the ones I got wrong on that one? Because it's worth actually looking at the ones you got wrong. Yeah, my first instinct was to go here, but that's actually wrong. Let's try that again. Oh, there's queen h3. And then probably queen e3, right? Yeah, the most forcing. What about this one? It's worth looking at the ones you got wrong. So if I go rook b2, he's going to go king a3. We know rook b2 is wrong. I did think about queen b6. Well, I thought he had bishop. I thought they had bishop c3, but maybe then there's a move. I don't know. There's queen e6. Could try that, man. Okay. This is what I saw, and I wasn't sure about it because I thought if I go. Well, I didn't really see. I only calculated up to this point. I didn't see anything further. But apparently there's a win here. I mean, there's queen e6, but then is it queen e6? No. Bishop b. Oh, it is bishop b2 because if they go rook b1, I'm thinking, but then queen e6 wins, right? So then it goes all desperate because it's like I'm lost. So therefore, there's one other one I got wrong, which was this one. So my initial instinct was rook d3, but no, that's also wrong. Interestingly enough, wow. Because your first gut instinct is either take the rook, captures, or checks, or check. It's amazing that both are wrong. Well, e2 is another move. I think rook d3, they've got some kind of rook f8 check. This is the problem. It's kind of annoying. When you take, they take king h7, queen f5, and then they take the rook. So e2 is probably what it's going to be. And then you simply take, probably with a queen actually, so they don't have this rook f8 resource. Yeah, so obviously this is the thing about chess, you need the connections in your brain, you need the time to sometimes make the connections. Okay, yeah, you feel like it's your king on e8, but it's actually your queen. Yeah, I said this the other day, I was talking about the difference between time controls and when you, very slow in this one by the way. You know, a blitz, you don't have the time to make the connections. But at slower time controls, you do. So there's no excuse not to at least try. Okay, maybe check. So this one is good. Ah, frig, because I sort of pre-moved. Sickening, right? Yeah, I'm sort of distracted a bit here. So what's my best score so far? 47. So I'm going to try and beat 47. Is there a trick here? Or maybe it's queen h4. It's like queen check and bishop g5 is very strong. Queen f2 and knight c3. Oh my god, I forget the queen's defending it. It's queen d1 and then e5 maybe is winning. Yeah, I'm not going to beat 47 here, I don't think. Or would be extremely difficult. Rook d4 is possible. Queen b8 is possible. Queen c5. Yeah, it's a trick because knight's on a8. You could easily go queen b6 there. But fortunately I didn't. Okay, this one also tricky because they're threatening mate. Knight f6. There's bishop e3 maybe is the idea. But then, yeah, I guess you take the f pawn, right? And then just take back. Also tricky because they've got lots of checks. There's like queen g2 is possible. e7. No, queen g2 is wrong. because you're leaving the rook on pre's. Okay, I could take on c2. What's the difference? Queen a5 check. Aha, yeah. Also tricky. Okay, you want to take, but then this you actually can take because this move. Queen here. Okay, is it? You feel like it's something like Queen d2 maybe. There's Rook d5. No, it's wrong. Okay, yeah, I said it was tough. Once you get one wrong, you just haven't got that long, and then you're a short time as well. Need to speed up. Yeah, my mouse reaction speed is not. Maybe I'm not set the mouse settings up correctly to optimize my performance, but my mouse setting skills aren't great. Like my mouse speed is quite poor. This is why I'm not doing that great at 1 minute. I'm doing okay, but I haven't played much blitz chess online. I just find I try and avoid it now because it's so addictive, and it's a little bit soulless as well. I was watching Kramnik play yesterday on his stream. Not a lot of people like Kramnik, to be honest. He's a bit of an arsehole, but yeah, he's got very good understanding. Quite clearly, well, unsurprising given that he's a former world champion, I guess. Yeah, I'm slow here again. I should be much quicker here. I should have got to 28 much earlier. Maybe talking doesn't help. Does Bishop e4 check win the queen? So rook here. And then, okay, rook d7. Queen check, I guess. Okay, you want to do this and distract them rook. Okay, this. It's f7. A lot of the themes repeat themselves, you know, from, okay, so rook d1 is possible. Oh no. Oh no. Terrible. Gradually getting there. Okay, I want to go check and then maybe king g6. What else? Okay, there's queen e4. Okay, this is the old trick. Rook f8, I guess. It's rook a5. Ah, yeah, trick. I think I can do that one, right? If I take, he's gonna... Is it rook d5? But then he can take that, right? Doesn't look that clear. What am I missing? Well, I'm missing out a piece up. Maybe it's this one. Okay, there's what is there here? Queen b4 maybe. Okay, bishop b5. I guess you take, right? Okay, it's some kind of distraction of the queen. Okay, king f5 looks favourite. Oh, is it something like this? now we need a clever move, right? Rook g7 we have. Where's this? Check. I'm quite proud of myself that I got that one right, because that was tricky. Oh, there's rook e5. I'm quite proud of myself that I got that one right. Queen d4, does that do anything? Or knight e2 check. Okay, got the 50, that's good. Okay, it wants c5, is that correct? I might be wrong. No, it's wrong. Fuck me. Pardon my French. There's some kind of something to do with queen. Yeah, I'm not sure enough. Let's try again. Keep going. Careful about the time. Don't want to spend the whole day doing this. Oh, hang on a minute. Yeah, I have a theory with this, is that you go for your prime, what I call the prime piece. So you should have your mouse, you know, if you can anticipate it, you have the mouse sort of hovering over the prime piece. In this case, the queen goes to, you know, my prime theory. Let's check. This is mate, it's going to be mate. There's going to be some kind of mate again. Okay, there's this. Again, very slow. I'm getting to 20 far too slowly. I guess it's, yeah, normally I'm much quicker than this. So whether it's talking or whether I'm just slow today, or even with my sort of, fucking hell. Yeah, I saw there were other moves, but I wasn't sure. Like, sometimes you just have to react. Play quickly, right? Yeah, also bad. Yeah, I'm going to do badly on this one. Shouldn't quit though, should I? I mean, I probably should quit now because I'm not going to get a good score. Yeah. Let's do one more 5 minutes and then maybe play survival. That was a bad one. Okay, let's try to get to 20 a bit quicker. Gotta speed this bad boy up. This. Get a bit quicker. Just no. You see, I distracted. Start talking, distracting myself. There's no excuse. It's poor. Yeah, this is a problem when you stream. It's actually, I mean, you know, fair play to people like Nakamura who do so well. Like, you know, when you're streaming, it's a real art form to not, you know, you are going to distract yourself to a certain degree when you're talking. There's this. Oh, it's forced mate. Oh my god, that was terrible. Yeah. Rook h4. You want to push, right? Queen f7, queen e8. Rook h8 looks good. Yeah, this one I don't know actually. It's quite tricky. Oh, you go G4. Oh, no, you don't. What is this one? Yeah, king and pawn, always worth finding out what the solution is. Yeah, I saw H4. I thought you could just... Oh, but then you have the breakthrough with G4, which I forgot about. Yeah, which is a very standard. I should know that one. That's very poor. Right, okay, we're going to do survival. Okay, let's try survival mode. So we've got 50 on that one. I got 55 the other 5 minutes, which is not bad. Beat my previous best score. What I like about this one is the no time. So again, it's less competitive. Okay, is Queen H3? No, that's wrong. Oh, sorry, I'm forgetting there's a bishop. Yeah, this is why you need time to make the connections, because I immediately see Queen H3. That's not a good move. So just check. What is this? Oh, there's Rook E2, yeah. You always look for 4. I was looking at Rook D4, but that's less forcing. Queen G3 and then Queen C8. So you remove the defender of H2. Now on check, move the defender of the back rank. Yeah, so I've got some. I've used these bishops now. Yeah, this one's. I mean, you got to go for G5 right and try and break through. I think you take. You're doing okay so far, but that's the famous last words. I was watching IT Crowd actually last night. Most of the stuff on Netflix is rubbish, but they got some good comedy. I'm forgetting how funny it was, right? I think that writer got cancelled because he kind of made anti-trans, or you know, comments that were negative towards trans people, and he got cancelled. Graham Linehan. But it's a very funny show. Okay, so this is probably something to do with. Oh, there's 94 and Rook F6. Again, I probably wouldn't have gone 94 in 5 minutes because you're trying to react. I think you just take out the board, right? Oh no, maybe. No, because Queen E8, right? So they needed the knight on B6. But now it's taken. I think I've got to take that. Kind of tricky, actually. Yeah, that's why you'd need that. There's Rook E3 and then Queen E3 and maybe go for a Queen E2 check. Bishop F7, I think, and then Bishop F6 and Queen F6. So doing alright. Knight G4 is appealing. Q3, it's all good so far, but then it gets tricky, right? Check. Okay, I mean there is rook c2. I don't really see any other ideas. So king b3. Well, no, maybe it's king d2. Because maybe what's wrong with king b3? There might be something wrong with. Oh, king b3. They have knight b4, which is a very clever defense. And when you queen, they take with check. If you go king d2, you're threatening to queen with check. They're forcing them to take. Then you queen, yeah. So there's, yeah, a little, because it's never like the same. I think Lichess, they do puzzles where you got like more than one answer at the end, but I think chess.com they don't. I could be wrong about that. Okay, so they're clearly the one. This is about trying to knock the queen off the defense of the bishop, but I'm not sure what the answer is. I guess you go, well, g4 queen d5 actually is very annoying. What's the, yeah, because he's hitting the rook. Now there is knight g3. It's knight g3, isn't it? Because knight g3, queen d5, knight c3 is strong, I think. And when they go queen d6, you go knight e4. When they go queen c6, you go d4. And then when they move the bishop, bishop b5. Again, probably like 5 minutes, I would have got that one wrong. It just become 5 minutes, become more instinctive, right? You just like, I think this is about trying to trap the queen. The problem is at the moment, if I go rook b8, he's going to go queen f3, or c's going to go queen f3, I should say. I could take first and go knight d5. Maybe it's knight d5. Because if you go knight e4, they have the c7 square for the queen later. If you go knight d5, having c7 square, so the queen's going to get into trouble. Is essentially the, oh, okay, there's that move though, but then you can just take the bishop, right? Yeah. Okay, there's bishop, right. This one also tricky because this is like the first gut instinct move is bishop d4, but they have e3 check as well. Actually, can I get there with checks? Is that? So bishop d4, they have e3 check, which is very annoying actually. Like, how do I win it? So you should also look for forcing moves like checks and captures. Actually, there's rook check, king back, bishop d4 is winning, I think. Because eventually you're going to be forced to go to back rank, and then you win the rook. Okay, here we have queen f2. That's quite a simple one. Must be rook e2. So now the natural reaction is knight e3. Got to be this. Okay, it's rook c4. It's checkmate. Yeah. Okay, you'd assume d5. Queen f4. It's possible. d4. Right. There's stuff with knight b5. Sorry, yeah, knight c4 and then knight b5. Looks strong. This queen e4 hits the knight, and when the knight moves, bishop's hanging. First you have to take that, right? Again, see, I might speed react with bishop. I think it's bishop d4 because you got to take with check, because otherwise if you take and go bishop d4, they have king d2 as a defense. But if you go bishop d4 like king d2, there's queen g5. This is very nasty, yeah. Because they want no bishop h5 and counterplay. So the natural reaction is bishop d4, but then they go bishop h5. Oh, but you have knight g6. If they go queen f6, you still have knight g6. So maybe it's this. I guess knight g6 now, right? Right, but most people don't bother with survival. It's just like queen d5, I think, wins, and then But then rook F, I guess it must be queen D5. So now what's the... So your first reaction is rook H8 must be strong. But then the point is they do have a defense of knight F7. Knight H6, sorry. So not so simple. It looks strong, rook H8. I'm struggling to see an alternative, so I'll try that move. Now again, you want to take the rook. Aha, as great man once said. Oh, it's actually rook here, right? Yeah. Which is obviously the most natural move, but it's just wondering why I couldn't take the bishop as well. Okay, so this one possibility is queen d7, because if they go queen e3 you have d4, if they go queen g3 you have knight h5. That's why it's better than queen c8, because if you went queen c8 then you wouldn't have had d4. So queen c8 is possible here. If king f7, queen... Aha. Yeah, so this is all about trying to check the... No, that was wrong. I could have gone queen b5, I just leapt in, that's stupid. I had ages as well. Ages, it's really dumb to do that. But I think my weakness in chess is that I get lazy and I'm like, yeah, I see that's the move, I just play it, right? You know, like actually sitting on your hands can be the most difficult thing in chess at times. Yeah, c5, queen f6. This is a problem, and then they get a lot of counterplay with rook takes g6 threatened, right? But what else? I mean, I'm not seeing any other ideas anyway. So I guess it must be c5. Yeah, so this is when it gets tricky. I mean, it's crazy, but could you take on b4, rook g6 and go king f8? Because then they don't have maybe such a strong counterattack. Yeah, so I guess, oh, do you go king e7? I guess you go king e8, right? Because you want to force the queen to the back rank. So it must be king e8. Now king e7. Yeah, so I did a good job with that one, because I sort of like learned from a previous mistake in the previous game where I just played it too quickly. So queen e1 looks like the most natural move, and then they go to c4. Now you could do some kind of escalator with queen e2. Because so one idea is queen e2. I'm seeing one line. So queen e1, king c4, queen e2, king c3, queen e5 looks good. But what happens if after queen e1, king c4, queen e2 they go to b4? Like, how do you win then? You can go... Yeah, it's tricky, this. At some point you just get tired of calculating and just go back to instinct. Because your calculation goes around in circles, you end up confusing yourself. There's so many possibilities here. I guess you start with queen e1. I'm not really seeing any other move. Yeah, this is where it's tricky, right? Again, it's queen e4 and take on h7 is possible as well. But queen e4, I'm wondering about king b5. Take on h7 is not the end of the game, right? You can carry on there. It's got counterplay. Maybe, but maybe not. Is there anything better than queen e4? Oh, there was queen e2 we were talking about earlier, wasn't it? Which I've even forgotten about now. Queen e2, king b4, I'm not really seeing it. Yeah, very tricky this. Probably going to get it wrong. So I'm thinking queen e4. If I must admit, I can't really see a great move after queen e4, king b5, queen takes rook. Because I'm hitting the knight as well. So they're probably going to have to move the knight, but where do they move the knight to? Like knight c6 doesn't look great, but it might be playable. Probably going to have to do it. So I wonder if there's something cleaner rather than queen e4. I mean, I tried queen e4. You know, you always want to centralise the queen. Now you see, yeah, it's careless. And again, I rushed that, and probably there was an a6 check, and a rook a8 and a rook a5 mate. Thinking about it now. Sometimes you're just staring at, you know, when you think about it blindfold, it kind of distracts you from, you know, from the wrong mental process, and you start thinking about other ideas. Yeah, 55, not great. H7 looks like a move. That's a candidate move. I can't allow king h7. It's got to be h7 to start off with. So then the question is, what do you do first? I don't think you go bishop f6 because of g5. Gives him more. It's all about preventing them from gaining more squares. Okay, it's also tricky because now your natural inclination is take the rook, but then they go f6. So I think it's king f3 because it's the only move that doesn't allow some kind of you can't go to f2 because of queen d2 check. You don't want to go to d1 because of queen a1 checks. So you should go to f3. Now possibly again still being tricky because if I take goes f4. But probably have to take now, right? Do I have to take? I don't necessarily have to take. I'm wondering what. Oh, but king f4. I think g5 is annoying because you don't want to take with a king because of rook check, and if you take on e3, then f4 is maybe it's got more behind it. Well, still king f3 though. At the end. Maybe there's some weird stuff with bishop h3, rook h3. So what's wrong with just taking the rook? F4, I think I have like king f4. It's got to be taken unless there's some. Right. Yeah, it's still tricky. I can't go to f4 because of queen d2. So it's got to be king f3, and that wins, I think. And I've got to take the bishop because if I take the pawn, he goes. It's quite a tricky puzzle. Now finally I get my chance. Thank you, thank you. So one instinctive idea is queen f7, king h8, rook f6. And then how do they defend h6? Maybe that's a simple win, right? I mean, I've not seen it. But yeah, you've got to look around. It's already, you know, this is why it's a good way to test your calculation. Something like Puzzle Rush, I would say. You know, certainly survival mode because you're having to test your calculation and having to stop your opponent's counterplay and, you know, think about. I mean, it looks completely winning to me, but why doesn't rook f7 also win? Because then I'm threatening rook g7 with a big attack. You know, what's the difference? I'm not seeing the difference, to be honest. So why doesn't queen f7 rook f6 not win easily? He does have queen f8. He can go for the endgame, but yeah, that endgame looks totally winning to me. Why rook f7 doesn't look as natural as taking and going rook f6 because you reduce their options, you put the king in an even worse spot. So I've got to try queen f7. Yeah, now I can exchange and then win the endgame, I think. Yeah, also tricky. There's like rook g1 check is possible. No, that's wrong. Okay, let's see what. Yeah. So I think this one with king here. What was it doing? Yeah, I could just go queen b5 and then take the rook, I think. I think it's queen b5. Then you take the queen. And now you got queen b3 check and then take the rook. What about this one? Yeah, I think I did kind of work that out after. Yeah, it's just a6, simple move, and then mate, yeah. And then this one I wasn't sure about. I didn't give myself enough time, right? The rook g1 kind of looks like the most natural move, but there are other alternatives clearly. Oh, there's also knight d4, which I just completely forgot about. Right. So, there's check and knight c4, because if you go here, they go d6. If you go here, they go bishop b5. It's maybe tricky. Maybe it's just check and then knight c4. Okay, we're going to have one last go at Puzzle Rush Survival. How are we doing on leaderboard? We're leading the leaderboard. There's Rustamov. I played him at Blitz before. And, yeah. Okay, let's... So we're leading the leaderboard, that's always good. Let's see how we get on to the next one. Good, h3 and rook f3. Maybe this. b4 looks good. So you want to go for the checkmate. Keep forgetting that it's not speed yet. I mean, I've got all the time I want. There's rook d2 looks good. Great, and take the bishop. Okay, we can try and take that one. Check. So I can take this actually because you feel like the bishop is a trick because the pawn on d4 blocking the bishop. It's almost this mate. Okay, now I can do this. Got the 24, so this looks good. Rook here, and then this is going to be very strong. Rook here, check. Maybe it's f4 and then king across. You're doing okay so far. I think this move is strong. Mate. I haven't got any mates, but I've got a checkmate. Rook e4 maybe. My natural gut feeling, rook e4. Like, how do they stop the mate? I don't think they can. Okay, so idea is, I mean, knight e4 must be the move because there's knight f6 check. There's also queen. I think knight f6 is very strong because queen d4 there was f6. Not so convincing. Okay, so rook check. One idea is just rook check and take the rook. There's also queen b4, but I don't see what's wrong with that. Take the rook. It's queen b4 here. Really getting this puzzle much. I think it's just that black's too active here. Okay, there's knight e5 is winning, I think, and then knight takes, and then take this guy. Aha, this one's very tricky, right? There's rook f3 and take. Can go king f8, very important move. I think you start with this. Okay, if I take, there's a queen d2 check, right? Yeah, then I win the queen. So I'm up the 37, no mistakes. That's a good thing. But let's not make the mistake I made before, where I started, speeding up a little bit, and then that cost me, right? So queen. So what are my candidate moves here? This queen c5 looks a bit slow. There's defensive ideas like rook c8, but then there's queen f5. I don't know. Because at rook b3, I'm a little bit afraid of queen check, queen c2. I don't like. So I'll try queen c5 because I think there is a queen f5 idea. That was correct, right? That's good. So queen h3 looks like the move. Must be winning. There's rook h7 and then take and then mate. Yeah, also, there's queen e5 and knight b6 and then queen c5 mate. Okay, so he's hitting my queen. There's queen h5 check. Yeah, this is where it starts to get tricky. Right, because there's various checks now and not clear which one is the best. I mean, I can win the queen, which actually that must be winning because of my a pawn and all his pawns are weak. So I think it's just force winning the queen here. There's h4 check. Oh, hang on, I better refresh it because it starts doing that. So I'm on 46, that's good. So I could take and go rook f8. I think then it would try bishop e3, but you can just take on f7. Okay, so this one is take, and then this is a very typical idea that you come around this way. Queen f2 and bishop f1 maybe is possible. I mean, the most natural move is bishop c6. Okay, do we take? No, we don't take. We take here, right? Yeah, clever. Where it tries to spuck you up. Rook e2 is possible. No, I could take that as well. Or take on c6. I'm not sure which one's best. We're taking on c6. He's got knight g4. Queen also looks in danger. Yeah, this is one where I need a bit more time. I think actually taking on f6 is possible. He has knight d4, but then you go queen g4, I think. I'll try taking on f6. Oh, okay, but now I can maybe just go b take c3. That looks winning, right? Yeah, just take that. Oh, fuck off. What? Why wasn't that winning? Oh, I forgot he was hitting our rook. That's just really careless that I played that so quickly. Because I could just go rook ed1 and it's a very simple win and I've just blown it. You know, it's not an ability thing, it's just a stupidity thing. That's the most frustrating thing about it. So I could go rook c6 and knight c4 and his queen's in trouble. Because if he goes queen a2, there's knight c3. Yeah, that's going to be the frustrating thing about chess. When you don't lose almost due to, like, an ability issue about your understanding of chess, it's more like you lost because you just did something psychologically stupid. I think that's where someone like Jubob gets frustrated, you know, when he talks about how Caruana is like less talented than possibly he is. You know, he feels like he's failing due to psychological mistakes. Okay, one idea is rook c4. Feels like that must what? It just felt so natural, but yeah, just not even bothering to check it. It's just laziness, right? Pure laziness. Rook e8, I guess. King h7 feels like a move. And then just take, right? Okay, he's still got some ideas. Knight e4 is possible, but then he's got mate. Can't go g5 because of queen f6. Kind of tricky, right? Maybe it's something weird like queen d7, g5, king h5. But again, the question is why wouldn't queen c8 just work just as well? I'm struggling to work that out, the reasoning behind that. Why is it queen d7 and not queen c8? Because both seem to work, but there's some subtle reason why it's not. It's not queen d queen. I'm lost here. I'm lost. I tried queen d7 because that felt like the most natural move. Okay, knight f6 is possible. I can't be bothered. I'm just going to get on with it now. Okay, the c4 looks the most natural. Yeah, it's actually tricky because a6 is going to take back. I mean, there's also weird stuff happening over here as well, right? Which I mean, your natural temptation is to maybe even play with like bishop c8, try and win that way, but that's probably wrong. Tired as well now. When you're tired of London, you're tired of life, a great man once said. Yeah, I'm struggling with this one, I must admit. I don't really know what the answer is. Maybe it's something really weird like a6 and b5. Because the queen is kind of trapped there, and when you take back, and if you take on b5 with a queen, I have rook b8. I think it's something weird like this. So at least I got that one right. Don't think I've done very well here, really, and in these, I haven't really sort of surpassed myself. Well, maybe I'm being harsh. Yeah, this one tricky as well, because if your natural reaction is to go knight h5, but then they have queen e5, right? Or queen g4. So what's the trick here? I mean, oh, but I'm material up. So the question is just how do I keep material advantage? If I go to e6, I mean, that is an option, right? But then they're going to take on e6, but then you have queen g3. If they take on g6, you take back the pawn. And if they go queen e5 immediately, you have knight d7. That looks strong. So I'll try bishop e6. Yeah, you have to take back that pawn, and then, okay, it was fairly easy in the end, but very possible to get it wrong. So here I'm wondering about knight h2, queen d4 is looking good. Queen h4, sorry. Oh, but knight h2 to have queen h5, which is, that's what you say. You train yourself to look for other moves. They don't have to take back. So queen h4 immediately is probably stronger because you don't allow this counterplay. Now knight f3 and originally f4, but then now I realise it's bishop f2. So it's probably going to be queen h4 immediately. Bishop f2 and then just take. Okay, got that one right. Okay, this is something to do with that bishop. It's bad on. So again, natural reaction is knight h5, but then queen a5 check. Very annoying, right? If bishop d2, queen takes h5. However, that's not the end of it. There's then g4, because the queen's kind of semi-trapped, right? They go to d5, and if it's also knight g4 to calculate knight g4, knight e5, maybe that might be good. Because I think if bishop f6, if bishop f3, although again that might not be that clear. Bishop d8, bishop e2. Not seeing anything there. I feel like it's probably going to be knight h5. I'll try knight h5. Okay, so there's also bishop d2, queen h5, and there's moves like knight e5 or knight g5. Knight e5 has got queen h4. And if g3, so say bishop d2, queen h5, knight e5, queen h4. If g3, then queen takes d4. That doesn't look very good. But at the moment, I'm not seeing. Knight d2 is no good because of queen g5. c3 just goes knight h5. It's just nothing. So I try bishop d2. It's got to be bishop. It's not bishop d2. Wow. Shocked by that. Right, let's think about that. Let's think a little bit more then, because he looked by far the best try, but apparently that's wrong. Yeah, interesting actually. I mean, that's one I don't mind getting wrong, because it's like, it's actually pretty tricky. You know, it's ones where you really should have got it right and you got it wrong. You just feel like an idiot, you know. Oh, there is queen d2. Does that make a difference? Oh, there's queen d2. That's very clever. Yeah, not a move I even looked at originally, but just based on process elimination, queen d2 is right, because if queen takes d2, then knight takes, and then the knight is defended by the bishop on e2. Very clever idea. Obviously, if they take on h5, you go queen a5, and the point is, if they go bishop b4, you have c3, so you're going to win some kind of material. Because if knight e4, you go cb4, for example. Well, not the only move actually. Knight e4 is not really going to get it done. So, but cb4 is strong, and if knight d2, then ba5. Knight f3, bishop f3, and white's two pieces up. So the correct answer is queen d2. What about the other two I got wrong? I got this one wrong as well. Let's have a little look. They go c4. And now I'm seeing it now. It's clever. It's queen a1, king c2, rook c4, king b3, queen a4, mate. Again, I've got time to do that. There's no excuse. Like 5 minutes getting that wrong would be understandable, but like unlimited time. The problem is you don't take your unlimited time. You don't use your unlimited, because you feel like it's not serious. In a proper game, like, you know, knowing that if I lose, I might lose if I get it wrong, I'm probably going to take the time. But because it's Puzzle Rush, you're like, well, if I get it wrong, so what? No one cares, you know. I'm not going to get punished for getting it wrong. Yeah, queen a1 is obviously the move, right? Okay, there was one other one I got wrong. No, that was the one. There was one earlier I got wrong. Yeah, I think I worked out what this was. Again, you see, like, if I take more time, so I worked out that was correct. But after here, so I'm pretty much broken the back of the puzzle, right? You can go rook e1 and that wins. Yeah, just take. Just to show you, I think like here, if they go knight d4, that was the other move I was wondering about actually. But I think you can go queen g4 is very strong, because g6 is just going to be met with queen g6, king h8, queen g7, mate. And if queen g5, is queen takes d4. So they'd have to go g5, but I guess that's just bad for several reasons. Yeah, I guess this. No, okay. I mean, I mean, I can just have a look. I think normally you can look at the puzzle. So, for example, you can do analysis. So I was wondering here that after this, a knight d4. Yeah, queen g4 and g5 was like some kind of try, but it's just bad, yeah. Because you just weaken your king too much. Queen h5 is very strong. Probably have a move, good. But yeah, anyway, yeah, I think that'll be it for today for the Puzzle Rush. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you got some tips. You know, work on your calculation. It's probably a good way to work on your calculation. All the resources are out there now. It's up to you to do the work. You know, same for me. I should be working harder on my calculation, but I'm a lazy bugger, and I don't work as hard as I should. You know, and that's often been what's cost me in the course of my chess career. Is I've been late. Anyway, I need to go to the toilet.